Mindanao State University Main Campus Marawi, and in YouTube, One MSU, and YouTube Mindanao State University Main YouTube page. May we request our graduates to please rise. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh, and good morning. Welcome to the 54th Commencement Exercises and 10th Moving Up Ceremony of the Mindanao State University External Units. Let us begin our commencement exercises with the procession. We have here the candidates for graduation and moving up. We welcome our graduating students and those moving up, the heart of our celebration. Following our graduates and completers are the marshals who guided our candidates to this momentous occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, the MSU External Units Marshal. We have here today Mr. Harun Al-Rashid D. Maruhom, the Area Supervisor at the MSU-OAVCAA, MAPE, and LIS Coordinator and Dispersing Officer, and one of the Special Assistant of the Office of the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. We have from MSU Balindong, we have Dr. Aminuddin S. Masnar and Ms. Namira M. Haji Ali. From MSU Baloe, we have Mr. Abdurrahman Bashir and Ms. Siti Yasmin Makaumbang. From MSU Binidayan, we have Mr. Nurhan M. Abdul Karim, and from MSU Malabang, Mr. Nurhan Sarip. From MSU Tugaya, we have Ms. Rosnia R. Diapar and Ms. Aslia Sarip. From MSU Marantao, we have Professor Abraham N. Guro and Mr. Abdullah B. Guro. From MSU Masio, we have Ms. Norhana R. Haji Muhammad. From MSU Sagyaran, we have Mr. Jalal Pangkoga and Mr. Jamael Makadar. And from MSU Siawadato, we have here Mr. Jamil Rabong and Mr. Abdul Majid S. Bagal. And from MSU Tamparan, Ms. Norlaila R. Mama. And from MSU Taraka, we have Mr. Muhammad Ampuan. Following the MSU External Units Marshals are the 13 Student Supreme Government Presidents of each MSU External Units. Let us welcome the student leaders who have dedicated their time and efforts in service of their fellow students and their schools. From MSU Balindong, we have Mr. Muhammad Sadiq D. Medal. From MSU Baloy, we have Mr. Muhammad Ryan U. Makataman. From MSU Binidayan, we have Mr. Hayan T. Olama. From MSU Lopez Aina, we have Miss Rose P. Bulawin. From MSU Malabang, we have Mr. Muhammad Aljan S. Repors. From MSU Tugaya, we have Mr. Ben Ladin I. Lumudag. From MSU Marantao, Mr. Juhari M. Bashir. From MSU Masio, Mr. Jamil P. Haji Hassan. From MSU Sagyaran, Muhammad Raif B. Satar. MSU Siawadato, we have here Abdul Bashid S. Pitiilan. From MSU Tamparan, we have Nur Hussein P. Kabab. From MSU Taraka, Mr. Muhammad Hussein C. Saripada. And from MSU-WAO, Miss Athena Joy C. Casuno. We also extend our sincere gratitude to the dedicated faculty and staff members of the 13 MSU external units whose commitment to education has made this auspicious day possible. Ladies and gentlemen, the faculty and staff of the 13 MSU external units. We have here the faculty and staff of MSU Balindong, followed by the faculty and staff of MSU Baloy. Following the faculty and staff of MSU Baloy are the faculty and staff of MSU Binidayan. Acknowledging also the faculty and staff of MSU Malabang. Following the MSU Malabang are the faculty and staff of MSU Tugaya. Ladies and gentlemen, the faculty and staff of MSU Marantao. We have here the faculty and staff of MSU Masio. We also acknowledge the dedicated faculty and staff members of MSU Sagyaran. Acknowledging also the presence of the faculty and staff of MSU Siawadato. Ladies and gentlemen, the faculty and staff of MSU Tamparan. Acknowledging also the presence of the faculty and staff of MSU Taraka. We acknowledge also the presence of the dedicated faculty and staff members of MSU Tugaya. Following the faculty and staff of the 13 MSU external units are the MSU Office of the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs support staff. We have here today Ms. Janida Mangaran, support staff of MSU Balindong, Mrs. Aima Monisa Abdul Kadir of MSU Baloi. The support staff of MSU Binidayan, we have Ms. Siti Ryan Dimakalan. And our support staff from MSU Malabang, we have Ms. Siti Jalia Haji Salik. And of MSU Marantao, we have Ms. Norhaya Panda. And our support staff of MSU Masio, we have Mrs. Raihana Magarang. And of MSU Sagyaran, Ms. Naira Sakar. And of MSU Siawadato, Mr. Faiz Kusain. Our support staff of MSU Tamparan, we have Ms. Hanalia Di Patuan. And of MSU Tugaya, we have here Mrs. Najma Alnor. Of MSU Wao, we have Ms. Princess Munauray Mamao. And of MSU WAO, we have Mrs. Amalhaya Abdul Malik. Following our MSU support staff or the Office of the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs are the principals of the 13 MSU external units. Leading our academic communities with unwavering dedication, we honor the esteemed principals of our MSU external units. We have here the principal of MSU Balindong, Professor Siti Maisa Nihar M. Dalidig. The principal of MSU Balue, Dr. Syra B. Macabago. And of MSU Binidayan, we have Professor Kayambai R. Diator. The principal of MSU Lopez Aina, we have Professor Gladys B. Balangcar. Of MSU Malabang, we have Dr. Kunaida G. Mama. The principal of MSU Tugaya, we have Professor Rohani H.R. Tayyip Pasandalan. The principal of MSU Marantao, Mrs. Hanifa S. Guro. The principal of MSU Masio, Mrs. Mulili R. Pitiilan. The principal of MSU Sagyaran, we have Professor Noraisa M. Kadir. The principal of MSU Siawadato, Dr. Diamond T. Magdara Moksier. The principal of MSU Tamparan, Mrs. Sara D. Binaning. The principal of MSU Taraka, Professor Noroline M. Gundal. And of course, the principal of MSU WAO, Professor Arlene S. Alingay Montesilio. Following the 13 principals, we have here today Dr. Hijara Randy Caris, the Supervising Education Program Specialist of the MSU External Units, together with Mrs. Raihani Indol, Office of the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, University Researcher 2, and Chairperson of the Teachers Efficiency Rating. Ladies and gentlemen, we now recognize the individuals who have tirelessly supported our MSU external units. Ladies and gentlemen, the special assistants of the Office of the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, external units. We have here today Mr. Jamal M. Baulo, the Coordinator, Advisor of MSU External Supreme Student Government Federation Council, Media and Information Officer, and Coordinator of the Student Affairs and Guidance and Counseling Services. We have Dr. Pizimalaw P. Makabandi, the TLA Coordinator. We also have Professor Alia M. Pambaya, the Area Supervisor of MSU Binidayan, the ESP Coordinator, and Chairperson on QMS and ISO concerns. Ladies and gentlemen, we have here today Dr. Jasmine C. Tawan-Tawan, the Area Supervisor at MSU Siawadato, Math Coordinator, Students Records Verifier, and Research Coordinator. And of course, Mr. Harun Al-Rashid D. Maruhum, the Area Supervisor at MSU WAO, ICT, MAPE, and LIS Coordinator and Disbursing Officer. We have also Professor Salia H.A. Masnar, the Office Secretary, Area Supervisor at MSU Baloe, English Coordinator, Senior High School Admission Test Chairperson, and God Focal Person. We have also Alim Abdul Jalil P. Mangaran, the Arabic Coordinator and Chairperson of Grievance Committee. We also have Professor Norain M. Ampang, the Area Supervisor at MSU Balindong and MSU Sagyaran. Professor Salwa S. Ampaso, the Area Supervisor at MSU Marantao and MSU Lopezina, and the Science Coordinator. We have also Professor Norhana H. Kana, the Area Supervisor at MSU Taraka, FIACI Chairperson, Filipino Coordinator, and Students Records Evaluator. We have also Dr. Olomoding M. Moksir, the Area Supervisor at MSU Masio, of MSU Tamparan, and Araling Panlipunan Coordinator. And of course, Dr. Sakina U. Mindalano, the APDP and Permanent Tenure Chairperson, Area Supervisor at MSU Malabang and MSU Tugaya, and the Senior High School Coordinator, and the Chief Management Staff of MSU External Units. Following our special assistance is the Office of the President Representative, Mr. Omar Unda. And of course, Mr. Ajir Dalupang. We have here also other university officials. We are deeply honored by the presence of esteemed university officials who graced this event with their support and guidance. Let's welcome the Director of the Supply and Property Management Division, Director Dato Dakula L. Mandangan. We have Dr. Mariam L. M. Diron, the MSU Office of the President Consultant, and a former Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs External Units. We would like also to welcome the Director of the PPD. We have Engineer Preciosa Dimapuro. Let us also welcome the Director of the Maranao Cultural Heritage Center and OIPP, Office of the Information, Press and Publication, Dr. Sorhaila L. Latif Yusuf. We have also the Faculty Regent, Professor Norhaina Ariel D. Madale Unte. And of course, the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs External Units, Dr. Samsia M. Paitao Dumrang. We have also the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Amirkan Cabaro. We have also the BOR Secretary, Attorney Nor Elias Pangkuga Yusuf. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 54th Commencement Exercises and 10th Moving Up Ceremony of the Mindanao State University External Units.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Graduations are among life's biggest accomplishments. They speak to hard work, dedication, resilience, and success. For the graduates, it's a day well earned. For the friends and loved ones, it's a time to let someone know that his achievement is recognized and celebrated. I am Professor Salia Haji Amin Masnar, Special Assistant to the Office of the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, your Master of Ceremony in today's 54th Commencement Exercises and 10th Moving Up Ceremony of the Mindanao State University External Units. To formally begin this momentous occasion, let us bind ourselves together and invoke the presence of the divine mercy of the Almighty Allah to be led by Ustad Ibn Abdul Malik El Ali.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم اجعل هذا اليوم يوما مباركا واجعل تخرجنا هذا بداية لنجاحاتنا المستقبلية. اللهم ألهمنا العلم والحكمة وارزقنا النجاح والتوفيق في حياتنا وعملنا واجعلنا سببا في الخير والنفع للناس. اللهم أعنا على استخدام علمنا ومعرفتنا في خدمة ديننا ووطننا ومجتمعنا واجعلنا من الناجحين الذين يعملون لرفعة بلدهم وأمتهم يا رب العالمين. Ya Allah, make this day a blessed day and make our graduation the beginning of our future successes. Ya Allah, inspire us with knowledge and wisdom and grant us success in our life and work and make us a cause of goodness and benefit for people. Ya Allah, help us to use our knowledge and understanding in the service of our religion, our country, and our community, and make us one of the successful people who work to elevate their country and nation. Ya Rabbal Alameen. Allahumma inna nas'aluka fi khitam al-'am ad-dirasi fahman 'aziman wa 'aqlan safiyan wa sa'adatan 'amiratan. Allahumma yassir lana al-hudu في الإجازة الصيفية وأكرمنا بالنجاح في العام الدراسي القادم وفي كل عام. Ya Allah, at the end of the school year, we ask you for great understanding and clear mind and abundant happiness. Ya Allah, facilitate our tranquility during the summer vacation and grant us success in the upcoming school year and every year. ربنا نسألك في نهاية العام الدراسي أن تخرجنا من الظلمات إلى النور وأن تجعلنا يا رب العالمين من المتعلمين المثقفين الذين يتمتعون بالحكمة والعلم والموعظة. الحمد لله على نهاية وختام العام الدراسي. Ya Allah, we ask you at the end of the school year to bring us out of darkness into the light and to make us, Ya Rabbal Alameen, among the educated and cultured who enjoy wisdom, knowledge, and admonition. ربنا نحمدك ونشكرك على ما أنعمت علينا في هذه السنة الدراسية وما فضلت به علينا. اللهم احفظنا من كل سوء يا أرحم الراحمين. We praise Allah. We praise you, Ya Allah, and thank you for what you have bestowed upon us in this school year and for what you have favored us with, Ya Allah. Protect us from all harm, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. Allahumma waffiqna في السنة الدراسية القادمة إلى النجاح الباهر وإلى تحقيق وتحصيل أعلى الدرجات وأفضل العلامات. Ya Allah, guide us in the coming school year to great success and to achieve and obtain the highest grades and best marks. Alhamdulillah ala nihayati wa khitam al-'am ad-dirasi ba'da al-kathir min at-ta'b wal-juhdi wal-mu'anati. Fa ya Rabbal Alameen, laka al-hamdu ala ma an'amta bihi wa faddalta bihi alayna ya arhamar rahimin. Praise be to Allah for the end and conclusion of the school year after a lot of fatigue, effort, and suffering. Ya Rabbal Alameen, praise be to you for what you have bestowed upon us, O most merciful of the merciful. يا ربنا اجعلنا في نهاية هذا العام الدراسي من المتفوقين. اللهم لا تضيع لنا تعبا ولا جهدا، واجعلنا يا رحمن يا رحيم من الذين ينجحون نجاحا عظيما بإذنك. Make us one of the outstanding students at the end of this school year, Ya Allah. Do not let our fatigue or effort go to waste, and make us, Ya Arhamar Rahimin, one of those who achieve great success with your permission. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Sumanga ulwa nami, Ya Allah. Sumanga ulwa nami sa gyan kaya MSU, Ya Allah, na panginamir kaya Allah. Pagumanumaning kasiran, Ya Allah, sa bagar, pakalenduang ka sumanga umuriran, Ya Allah, na si Imausar, Ya Allah, si ko mga pipiya, galabak ay kaswat ka, si ikiran, Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Sumanga ulwa nami, Ya Allah, pagumanumaning asiran sa taufik, Ya Allah. Amaw sariran to, si ko kaptagumpiagyan kay MSU system, Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, sumanga guru mi, Ya Allah, sumanga teachers sa mi, Ya Allah, miyara sa isiran sagyan kaya mga estudyante, makatitindag sumanga estudyante man to, misabab sagyan kaya mga guruiran, daat turog, na tarotop akapangan kanan, misabab buko, panaguntaman, saan daman niya makatindag agyan kaya mga watayo man to, sagyan kaya pama, a graduation, Ya Allah, skay labi, amataw kumidadait kiran abalasan, na Ya Allah din kakiran ito, Ya Allah, pandaray nun, Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Sumangalok sa mi, Ya Allah, akipakadarpa. Sumangalok sa mi, Ya Allah, dasima makadarpa. Panginamir kaya Allah, asabab ko kaya prasaraseran, Ya Allah, nabalasing kasiran sa pinakamapura balasan, Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Panginamir kalangon, Ya Allah, asudami kapakatarutop ko kababaloy ami, ang mga estudyante, mga guro, mga uluan. So, pimbarang akatatagwan kami a posisyon, Ya Allah. Sudah meron kataroto pinarilan kami, Ya Allah. Gupag gumanumaning kaya Allah, so tawfi kami, Ya Allah. Saan daman makapanaguntaman kami sa mas makalapan. Sugal ba kami, mas makalapan, mas kapipya namin pan. Agyang ko ta mga galba kami, Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Sa baloy, mas madakala kaugupan nami, mas madakala mga ko mapya, gulalan ko panaguntaman nami, Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana, wa fil akhirati hasana, wa qina adhaban nar, wa adkhilna al jannata ma'al abrar, ya aziz ya ghaffar. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun, wa salamun ala al mursalin, walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Thank you so much, Ustad Ibn Malik Ali. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the entry of the colors of the Mindanao State University external units. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. to be followed by the singing of the Barm hymn. Ladies and gentlemen, to welcome us warmly in this very momentous occasion, the 54th Commencement Exercises and 10th Moving Up Ceremony of the Mindanao State University External Units. Please help me welcome on this podium the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Samsia Impaitao Dumrang.
A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our esteemed and proactive commencement exercises and moving up ceremony speaker, the University President, Attorney Basari Dimakota Mapupano, represented by the Secretary to the Board of Regents, Attorney Nor Ilyas Yusuf, sir. Other MSU officials who are with us in this very joyous and momentous day. My support system in the office, the supermen and women behind every program of the Mindanao State University external units, the special assistants to the Office of the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, the 13 principals, members of the faculty and staff, their senior high school graduates, and junior high school completers, proud parents, my colleagues in the field of academe, ladies and gentlemen, good day and assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. At the outset, let me commend the senior high school graduates and the junior high school completers of MSU external units, for you have held another milestone in your educational journey as you are on the moment of confirming and recognizing you as senior high school graduates and junior high school completers. A graduation ceremony is always such a special occasion, a culmination of years of hard work, the actualization of goals attained, and the acknowledgement of successes achieved. So, it is only fitting that we commemorate the road that you have all traveled together these last few years. It has been a journey that started with a tentative steps perhaps, but one that has taken you to a remarkable heights. You have encountered some trials and tribulation along the way. You have also experienced exceptional moments, magical moments, and created memories that will be fondly remembered in the years ahead. This year's commencement exercises and moving up ceremony with the theme, One MSU External Units, Fostering a Culture of Excellence through Innovative Leadership and Transformative Education, aptly highlights the academic goal of the Office of the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs in making a difference to your lives. Our students, to equip you with the necessary knowledge and skills which you can utilize in facing the adversities and in winning triumphantly the battles ahead of you in pursuing further education. Upon my assumption to the Office of the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, it has been my priority to lead and man the 13 MSU external units with innovative trends in academe to attain transformative education for the benefit of our students and the constituents of MSU external units to attain academic excellence. As we gather here, let's take a moment to reflect on the remarkable achievements of our students and the institution that nurtured them, the MSU external units. These past school years, the Mindanao State University external units has not only maintained its high standards in the academe, but has also soared to the new heights and more challenging academic endeavors. Our accomplishment these past years are a testament and manifestation to the collaborative spirits of our students, faculties, and staff, and most importantly, the school principals of the 13 MSU external units. We've seen our students taking the lead in the division and regional school press conference by the Department of Education, participating the Yali Model United Nation in Guyang, South Korea, and also topping the senior high school admission test given by the Office of the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, and making really a very commendable performance by topping the SASI given by the Mindanao State University System. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. This year, SASI 2025 results manifest the greatest and most awesome academic performance of our grade 12 students as they nailed it again in the MSU SASI system-wide result by landing it to the top 10 and top 12, both from MSU-OAVCAA Community High School. We have also top 13 and top 16, both from MSU Sagyaran Community High School. Top 17 from MSU Balindong Community High School and MSU Baloe Community High School. Top 18 from another students from MSU Balindong Community High School. Top 20 also from MSU Sagyaran Community High School and MSU-OAVCAA Community High School. So we have produced a total of 2 full scholars, 5 partial scholars, 6 special Muslim grantee, and 521 baccalaureate passers, and 58 technology qualifiers. These great achievements is the fruit of the collaborative efforts of the school principals, faculty and staff, and the students, and of course, with the assistance of the special assistant to the Office of the Assistant Vice Chancellors and yours truly. Additionally, our enthusiastic and bold-spirited students had took part in the Youth Formation Summit for the development of their leadership skills, and they have proven that they can lead as young leaders by successfully implementing their proposed project in their respective schools. Hence, the search for the most outstanding student leaders was conducted by the office to provide opportunities to our students' leaders to explore their leadership skills and prove that they can lead on their own way, even at the young age. The faculty members have also exerted much effort in voluntarily taking part in the Faculty Service Exchange Program and the SASI Booster Review classes sponsored by the Office of the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, conducting research congress, and engaging our students in sports fest to become well-rounded individual and 21st century learners who can compete globally with other students as they leave the portals of their dear alma mater, the MSU external units. Our faculty members' unselfish effort is being recognized also by conducting the search for the most outstanding teacher of the year and the best teachers of the year in every school as a manifestation of their true dedication and commitment to providing quality education as we adhere to academic excellence in the MSU external units. To our senior high school graduating class and the junior high school completers, your journey has been one of growth, discoveries, and triumphs. You have not only won the challenges placed before you, but have also exceeded expectation by your mentors and parents. You have shown resilience, creativity, and a commitment to excellence. Today, We celebrate your individual achievements and the collective success of your class. We, in the administration, and your parents are immensely proud of each and every one of you. As I end my remarks, let me express my sincerest and deepest thanks and gratitude to those individuals who have helped in one way or another in the academic success of our students. The special assistants, the 13 school principals, members of the faculty and staff, and the proud parents. All of these endeavors and success we have attained would not be possible, of course, without the support of our dear University President, Attorney Basari Di Makota Mapupano. Thank you very much, Sir President, for all the support you have always extended to MSU external units. My dear graduates, be brave enough to keep soaring higher and reaching the pinnacle of your dreams, as we will be with you all the way. As Henry Ford wisely said, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is a success. Indeed, you have attained success today as you have worked collaboratively together. As you look back over the last few years, certainly there was a beginning, and thankfully, there was also a progress. And yes, undeniably, you have been successful, but let's begin where all good stories begin, at the beginning. It is my immense honor and pride to welcome you all to this momentous event, the 54th Commencement exercises and 10 moving up ceremonies of the 13 MSU external units. Once again, congratulations and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Ma'am AVC Dumbrang, for that warm welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my immense honor and pride to have given the task of introducing this man of few words but more actions, a man of honor and a man of great wisdom. Our commencement and moving up speaker is a highly accomplished legal professional with extensive experience in both public service and private practice. His career spans over the 3 decades, marked by significant leadership roles within various legal organizations and institutions in the Philippines, particularly in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. He has demonstrated a consistent commitment to legal education, advocacy, and public service, leaving a substantial mark on the legal landscape of the region. He has an impressive contributions to the field of law. He has highlights in the distinguished career of a highly accomplished legal professional with a remarkable track record spanning over the years. From his early roles as a legal officer and trial attorney to his significant leadership positions in various legal organizations and institutions, including the Department of Justice and the Mindanao State University, he has consistently demonstrated expertise and dedication to the field of law. Being a highly accomplished legal professional, he has held various positions both in the public service and private practice. Prior to becoming the Mindanao State University System President, he was designated to the following high government positions. To name a few, he was designated as the Provincial Prosecutor of Lanao del Sur, Department of Justice, Region 4, BARM in 2013 to 2022. He was also designated the Director, Chief Prosecutors Association, Region 14 in 2019 to 2022. The Regional Director, Prosecutors League of the Philippines Incorporated, PLP, in Region 14, 2018 to 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker's comprehensive education and extensive training undertaken as a highly accomplished legal professional was brought him to the various government high positions he had held prior to being the Mindanao State University president. His academic background includes a Juris Doctor from the Mindanao State University and a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, major in accountancy. He also earned a master-level course on humanitarian law, professors at the University of Melbourne, Faculty of Law, Institute of International Legal Studies, University of the Philippines Law Center, and the International Committee of the Red Cross in 2002. These courses taken are complemented by specialized training in various critical areas of law, including international humanitarian law, financial crimes, environmental law, and governance. As a matter of fact, he had initiated and participated in peace building and good governance, for he has a great concern for the constituents of the Bangsamoro region. As a manifestation of his great concern for the Bangsamoro constituents, he had initiated and took part in the planning and preparations of the Experts Forum Ad Hoc Committee framework, a critical analysis in 2015, the Bangsamoro Vision and the Bangsamoro Government in 2012 at Marawi City. The charter changed its implications in the ARM in 2006 at Cotabato City and implementation of the final peace agreement in Marawi City. Additionally, he had initiated the de-radicalization program design and planning meeting of the United Nations Development Program in 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker has also the significant community leadership roles held, reflecting his deep engagement and influence with the local communities of the province of Lanao del Sur. His positions as Sultan sa Malaig and founding chairman of the Council of Datus and Bais in Watu Balindong, Lanao del Sur from 2003 to the present demonstrate his commitment to preserving cultural heritage and promoting community development, highlighting his long-standing contributions to the social fabric of the region. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome on this podium our 54th commencement exercises and 10th moving up ceremony of the Mindanao State University external units. The man with a big heart for the constituents of the MSU external units, the university president, the Sultan sa Malaig, Attorney Basari Dimakuta Mapupano, to be represented by the equally brilliant Secretary to the Board of Regents and the University Secretary, Attorney Nor Elias Yusof.
Please be seated. So I come here as the representative of the University President, Attorney Basari Di Mapupano. So allow me to read his message for this event. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. O Allah, send blessings and peace to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family and companions. To our faculty regent, Professor Nurhaina Eril Onti Madali. To our Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Amir Khan Cabaro. To the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Samsia Paitao Dumrang. University and campus officials, principals of the 13 MSU Community High Schools, distinguished guests, faculty members and staff, proud parents and guardians, and most especially our dear graduates and completers. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A pleasant and hopeful day to everyone. Today, we gather to celebrate not just a milestone, but a moment of transformation from students to shapers of the futures, from learners to leaders in the making. To our Gen Z graduates, this moment is yours. A moment born of your persistence, your creativity, your late-night grind, and your unique courage to challenge the world as it is, and imagine it as it could be. Graduation is not the end of learning. It is a powerful beginning. And today, we applaud your achievements and celebrate a collective journey, a journey of resilience, of dreams nurtured through difficulty, and of hope that thrives even in the most uncertain times. Let me digress by telling you a story, not just of a school, but of a university that was itself a response to a challenge, a dream born in the face of division, and a vision forged in the fires of conflict. Mindanao State University was established in 1961, not simply to be an academic institution, but to be a light of unity in a region long burdened by inequality, marginalization, and unrest. At a time when Mindanao was scarred by conflict and division, MSU rose with a mission to provide access to equality education, to foster peace and understanding among diverse cultures, and to produce leaders who would rebuild the region, not with weapons, but with wisdom. We were built not in the most comfortable or convenient of places, but right where we were needed the most. Because education, when done right, is never neutral. It heals, it liberates, and it transforms. MSU was envisioned as a bold response to national and regional challenges, a belief that the youth, especially those in conflict-affected areas, are not victims of their circumstances, but architects of a better tomorrow. Dear graduates, that legacy now belongs to you. You are graduating at a time when the world is complex, when wars are fought not just on the ground, but online, when information is abundant, but truth is often obscured, when mental health is as real a challenge as physical survival, and when climate change, injustice, and digital disruption continue to reshape our lives. And yet, you are also the most connected, the most vocal, the most innovative, and arguably the most values-driven generation of the world has seen. You care not just about getting high grades or a job, but about purpose. You don't just ask what's next, but what difference can I make? This is the heart of what MSU hoped for when it was founded, that the youth of Mindanao, armed with knowledge and guided by compassion, would lead their communities out of darkness and into peace, progress, and equity. Your generation, you, our Gen Z completers, is growing up in an entirely new world. You have access to information in seconds, and yet some things remain unchanged. The need for education, not just as flex or future employment, but for empowerment, is more urgent than ever. The call for leadership that listens and innovates is louder than ever. This brings me to our theme, One MSU External Units, fostering a culture of excellence through innovative leadership and transformative education. With 13 external units scattered beyond the borders of Lanao del Sur in Mindanao, MSU is not simply a system of campuses, it is a network of hope. Each MSU Community High School and Senior High School is a beacon planted in communities that need them most. Together, you represent one MSU, unified by vision, driven by service, and committed to building bridges where others see barriers. Our external units are not peripheral. You are at the very core of our mission to reach the underserved, empower the margins, and transform the future from the ground up. And today, as I look at each graduate and completer before me, I am reminded that the dream of MSU is alive and evolving in each of you. You are the answer to the dream that was planted in 1961. As you move forward to senior high, to college, or to your first steps beyond the gates of your school, carry with you this truth. You are not just products of your time, you are makers of history. Be fearless, but never careless. Be ambitious, but never forget the people you are meant to serve. Question the world, but also rebuild it with love. Take your TikToks and turn them into tools for advocacy. Take your voice and make it a platform for justice. Take your roots and let them give wings to your dreams. To the parents, teachers, and community who stood behind these learners, thank you for planting the seeds. Sa ating mga graduates at completers, sabayan niyo akong bigyan po natin sila ng masigabong palakpak na nagpapatunay na pagpabugay sa kanila. Maraming salamat to your dedication and unconditional love and support to our students. Dear graduates, this is your moment. But more importantly, this is your mission. You are not just leaving school. You are entering the world as torchbearers of everything MSU stands for. Peace, excellence, service, and transformation. Let me leave you with this. Education is not just about personal success. It is about public impact. You are not just the hope of your families, you are the hope of this nation. And you are not just MSU students, you are MSU's living legacy. Congratulations, class of 2025. Mabuhay kayong lahat. Mabuhay ang dakilang pamantasang Mindanao.
Thank you very much, sir, for that inspiring message. To express our deepest and sincerest thanks and gratitude to our commencement speaker, we would like to present this plaque of appreciation and token. requesting the Secretary of the Board of Regents and the University Secretary, Attorney Nor Elias Yusuf, to please receive this plaque of appreciation and token in expression of our gratitude and thanks to our commencement speaker. Requesting also the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Samsia Impaito Dumbrang, the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. American G. Cabarro. We would like also to request the consultant for basic education to the Office of the President, requesting Dr. Sakina Yung Mindalano for the presentation of the plaque of appreciation and token to be assisted by the President of the Principals League of the MSU External Units, Dr. Diamond T. Magdara Muxer. We also request the Director of the Supply Division, Director Dato Dagula Mandangan. We would like also to request the Faculty Regent, Professor Madali, Republic of the Philippines, Mindanao State University, Marawi City. Office of the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, External Units, presents this plaque of appreciation to Attorney Basari Dimakuta Mapuputno, President, Mindanao State University System. In grateful recognition and sincere appreciation of his invaluable presence and inspiring message as the commencement speaker during the 54th Commencement exercises and 10th moving up ceremony of the Mindanao State University External Units held on May 7, 2025 at the MSU Dimaporo Gymnasium, MSU Main Campus, Marawi City. His exemplary leadership, profound wisdom, and steadfast commitment to academic excellence have greatly inspired our graduates and completers as they embark on a new chapter of their lives. His support continues to uplift the MSU External Units in our shared journey towards the realization of the theme, One MSU External Units, fostering a culture of excellence through innovative leadership and transformative education. With deep respect and admiration, we honor his unwavering dedication to the ideals of the MSU system. Given the 7th day of May 2025 at the MSU Dimaporo Gymnasium, MSU Marawi City. Signed, Dr. Diamond T. Magdara Muxer, President, Principals League of MSU External Units. Signed, Dr. Sakina Yu Mindalano, Chief Management Staff and Special Assistant to the Office of the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, and signed Dr. Samsia Impaitao Dumbrang, Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. Another plaque of appreciation is presented to Dr. Samsia Impaitao Dumbrang, Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, in heartfelt recognition of her outstanding leadership sincere dedication, and invaluable contributions to the MSU external units. Her commitment to academic excellence has improved student performance, supported faculty development, and raised the visibility and unity of the external units across the entire MSU community. Through her innovative leadership, she has helped bring together all the 13 MSU external units under one shared vision, one MSU external units, and promoted a strong culture of excellence built on integrity, teamwork, and continuous growth. This honor is given in line with the theme, One MSU External Units, fostering a culture of excellence through innovative leadership and transformative education. A vision she has led with passion, dedication, and purpose. Presented during the 54th Commencement exercises and the 10th Moving Up ceremony of the MSU External Units and recognition of her outstanding contributions to student learning and academic excellence. Given the 7th day of May 2025 at the MSU Dimaporo Gymnasium, MSU Marawi City. Signed, Dr. Diamond T. Magdaramoxer, President, MSU External Units Principals League. Signed, Dr. Sakina U. Mindalano, Chief Management Staff and Special Assistant to the Office of the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, and signed Attorney Basari Dimaguta Mapupano, MSU System President. Thank you very much, ma'ams and sirs. Presenting also the token in appreciation for gracing this occasion. Again, we are presenting the token to our University President, the Commencement and Moving Up Speaker of the MSU External Units, in expression of our deepest and sincerest thanks and gratitude in gracing this momentous occasion. Once again, thank you very much, ma'ams and sirs. Dear graduates and completers, today we celebrate not an ending but a beginning of your next journey. The knowledge you've gained is a foundation, not a ceiling. Go forth and build something extraordinary. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's proceed with the presentation of the candidates for graduation in the senior high school and moving up ceremony by the 13 school principals of MSU external units. Starting with the principal of MSU Balindong Community High School, Professor Siti Maysanihar M. Dalide.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Madam Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, by the virtue of the powers vested in me by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University, I have the honor and privilege to present to you 91 candidates for senior high school graduation, and 112 candidates for junior high completion from the MSU Balindong Community High School, school year 2024-2025, who have satisfactorily completed all the academic requirements of the K-12 basic education curriculum prescribed by the Department of Education, duly approved by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University System, and upon the recommendation of the faculty members of the unit. For your recommendation.
Principal of MSU Baloy Community High School, Dr. Saira B. Macabago.
A'udzu billahi samiil alim minas syaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum jami'an warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Madam Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, by the virtue of powers vested in me by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University, I have the honor and privilege to present to you 315 candidates for graduation and completion vis-a-vis 160 senior high who have satisfactorily completed the K-12 basic curricula as prescribed by the Department of Education and duly approved by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University System, and upon the recommendation of the MSU Baloy faculty members for your recommendation.
The Principal of MSU Binidayan Community High School, Professor Kayambai R. Diator.
Madam Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, by the virtue of the powers vested in me by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University, I have the honor and privilege to present to you 74 candidates for senior high school graduation and 97 candidates for junior high school completion of MSU Binidayan Community High School, school year 2024-2025, who have satisfactorily completed all the academic requirements prescribed by the K-12 basic education of the Department of Education, duly approved by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University System, and upon the recommendation of the faculty members of this unit for your recommendation.
The Principal of MSU Lopez Haina Community High School, Professor Gladys B. Balangcar.
Madam Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, by the virtue of the powers vested in me by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University, I have the honor and privilege to present to you one in attendance candidate for senior high school graduation, 67 candidates in absentia for senior high school graduation, and 78 in absentia candidates for completion of junior high school curriculum of MSU Lopez Haina Community High School, school year 2024-2025, who have satisfactorily completed all the academic requirements of the K-12 basic education curriculum prescribed by the Department of Education, duly approved by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University System, and upon the recommendation of the faculty members of this unit for your recommendation.
The Principal of MSU Malabang Community High School, Dr. Konaida G. Kamama.
A'udzu billahi samiil alim minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Madam Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, by the virtue of the powers vested in me by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University, I have the honor and privilege to present to you 54 candidates for graduation for senior high school and 84 candidates for junior high school completion of Mindanao State University, Malabang Community High School, school year 2024-2025, who have satisfactorily completed all the academic requirements of the K-12 basic education curriculum prescribed by the Department of Education, duly approved by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University system, and upon the recommendation of the faculty members of the unit for your recommendation.
The principal of MSU Marantao Community High School. Okay, the principal of MSU MSU-OAVCAA Community High School, Professor Rohani Hajitay Pasandala.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Madam Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, by the virtue of the powers vested in me by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University, I have the honor and privilege to present to you 49 candidates for graduation for senior high school and 55 candidates for junior high school completion of MSU-OAVCAA Community High School, school year 2024-2025, who have satisfactorily completed all the academic requirements of the K-12 basic education curriculum prescribed by the Department of Education, duly approved by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University system, and upon the recommendation of the faculty members of this unit for your recommendation.
The principal of MSU Marantao Community High School, Professor Hanifa S. Guro.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Madam Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, by the virtue of the powers vested in me by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University, I have the honor and privilege to present to you 83 candidates for graduation for senior high school curriculum and 116 candidates for junior high school completion of MSU Marantao Community High School, school year 2024-2025, who have satisfactorily completed all the academic requirements of the K-12 basic education curriculum prescribed by the Department of Education, duly approved by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University system, and upon the recommendation of the faculty members of this unit for your recommendation.
The principal of MSU Masio Community High School, Mrs. Mulele R. Pitiilan.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Madam Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, by virtue of the powers vested in me by the Board of Regents of Mindanao State University, I have the honor and privilege to present to you 51 candidates for senior high school graduation and 70 candidates for completion of junior high school curriculum of MSU Masio Community High School, school year 2024-2025, who have satisfactorily completed all the academic requirements of the K-12 basic education curriculum prescribed by the Department of Education, duly approved by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University System and upon the recommendation of the faculty members of this unit for your recommendation.
The Principal of MSU Sagyaran Community High School, Professor Nuraisa M. Kader.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Madam Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, by the virtue of the powers vested in me by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University, I have the honor and privilege to present to you 84 candidates for graduation for senior high school curriculum and 90 candidates for junior high school completion of MSU Sagyaran Community High School, school year 2024-2025, who have satisfactorily completed all the academic requirements of the K-12 basic education curriculum prescribed by the Department of Education, duly approved by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University System, and upon the recommendation of the faculty members of this unit for your recommendation.
The Principal of MSU Siawadato Community High School, Dr. Diamond T. Magdara Moxer.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Madam Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, by the virtue of the power vested in me by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University, I have the honor and privilege to present to you the 73 candidates for senior high school graduation and the 76 candidates for junior high school completion of MSU Siawadato Community High School, school year 2024-2025, who have satisfactorily completed all the academic requirements of the K-12 basic education curriculum prescribed by the Department of Education, duly approved by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University, and upon the recommendation of the faculty members of these units for your recommendation. Thank you.
The Principal of MSU Tamparan Community High School, Mrs. Sara D. Binani.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Madam Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, by the virtue of the powers vested in me by the Mindanao State University, by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University, I have the honor and privilege to present to you 43 candidates for senior high school graduation and 70 candidates for junior high school completion of MSU Tamparan Community High School, school year 2024-2025, who have satisfactorily completed all the academic requirements of the K-12 basic education curriculum prescribed by the Department of Education, duly approved by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University System, and upon the recommendation of the faculty members of this unit for your recommendation.
The Principal of MSU Taraka Community High School, Professor Nurulain M. Gundal.
A'udhu billahi minasyaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Madam Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, by the virtue of the powers vested in me by the Board of Regents of Mindanao State University, I have the honor and privilege to present to you 57 candidates of senior high school graduation and 58 candidates for completion of junior high school curriculum of MSU-OAVCAA Community High School, school year 2024-2025, who have satisfactorily completed all the academic requirements of the K-12 basic education prescribed by the Department of Education, duly approved by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University System upon the recommendation of the faculty members of this unit for your recommendation.
And the last but not the least, the principal of MSU-OAVCAA Community High School, Professor Arlen Isalingay Montesilio.
A pleasant day to each and everyone. Madam Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, by the virtue of the powers vested in me by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University, I have the honor and privilege to present to you 4 in attendance and 79 candidates in absentia for graduation for senior high school curriculum, and 4 in attendance and 184 candidates in absentia for junior high school completion of MSU-OAVCAA Community High School, school year 2024-2025, who have satisfactorily completed all the academic requirements of the K-12 basic education curriculum prescribed by the Department of Education, duly approved by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University System, and upon the recommendation of the faculty members of this unit for your recommendation.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the recommendation for confirmation and recognition of the senior high school graduates and junior high school completers by the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Samsia Impaitao Dumrang.
Auzubillahi minasyaitanirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sir President, represented by the Secretary to the Board of Regents, by virtue of the powers vested in me by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University as the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, I have the honor and privilege to recommend to you 969 candidates for graduation for senior high school curriculum and 1,303 candidates for junior high school completion of the 13 MSU external units with 388 in absentia. This school year, 2024-2025, who have satisfactorily completed all the requirements of the K-12 basic education curriculum prescribed by the Department of Education, duly approved by the Board of Regents of the Mindanao State University System, and upon the recommendation of the school principals for your recognition and confirmation, sir.
By virtue of the powers vested in me by the Board of Regents of Mindanao State University System, as President, after having been satisfactorily completed all the academic requirements of the K-12 basic education curriculum prescribed by the Department of Education, duly approved by the Board of Regents of Mindanao State University System, and upon the recommendations of the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs and the school principals, I hereby recognize and confirm. I hereby recognize you, junior high school completers, and confirm you, senior high school graduates of MSU external units this school year 2024-2025 with all the rights and privileges appertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Congratulations, senior high school graduates and junior high school completers of the Mindanao State University external units. As you embark on this new chapter, remember the lessons learned from your mentors, the friendships forged, and the dreams you've nurtured. May your future be filled with purpose and joy. Remember that you are the dream planted in the year 1961. You are the future of the Bangsamoro region and the future of the Mindanao State University. Ladies and gentlemen, to honor our graduates and completers, we would like to present this overture by the University Band. Thank you very much, University Band. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the most highlighted and most awaited part of this momentous occasion. The awarding of medals to top performing students of the Mindanao State University external units. Before I announce the awardees, may I request the representative of our commencement speaker, the Secretary to the Board of Regents, and the University Secretary, Attorney Nor Ilyas Yusuf, sir. The Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. American G. Cabarro. The Assistant Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Samsia Impaitao Dumrang. For the awarding of medals for the top performing students. To start with, we have the students with high honors in the grade 10 level from MSU Balindong Community High School. Marandakan Nashifa G, garnering a score of 94.361. Didaagan Hafsa M, garnering an average score of 93.139. Awardees from MSU Baloy Community High School. We have the Lone Awardee, Anango Aina M, with an average grade of 95.5. Awardees from MSU Lopez Haina Community High School. Junaga Sania Sofia Marie A, with an average grade of 95.293. In absentia. Awarding also Andalas Mark January with an average grade of 93.964. Cabotero Kiara May M with an average grade of 93.540. And Babanto Vanessa Jean with an average grade of 93.359. All in absentia from MSU Lopez Haina Community High School. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the awardees from MSU Malabang Community High School. Morsalin City Naila S with an average grade of 95.007. Haji Rasid Fatma Nor Zaliha A with an average grade of 94.076. On Najwa Sumaya M. with an average grade of 93.549. Honorees from MSU Marantao Community High School, Amiral Dania M. with an average grade of 94.715. Pangkik Anissa P. with a grade of 93.542. From MSU Masio Community High School, the Sumangkok Suhra with an average grade of 93.834. Lukman Fahad with an average of 93.613. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, we have the honorees from MSU Sagyaran Community High School. Mignagro Haifa R with an average grade of 95.536. Tarabuco City Jaya P with an average grade of 95.444. Balang Ana Reham M with an average grade of 95.424. Mapandi Norhanima M with an average of 93.646. The awardees from MSU Siawadato Community High School, Abdullah Siti Ashabi with an average of 95.931. Akbari Juwairia A with an average of 95.875. Kumaradang City Jaimati with an average of 94.882. Akbari Jamaya A with an average of 94.258. Asaladato Potrisam A with an average grade of 93.438. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the honorees from MSU Taraka Community High School. We have Pangkatan Janifa C with an average grade of 95.695. Makaarap Abdul Hafid M with an average of 93.820. Di Salongan Ayman M with an average of 93.243. Antawi City Aina A with an average of 93.111. From MSU-OAVCAA Community High School, we have the loan awardee in grade 10, Abdul Karim Aliana Jihan A, with an average of 96.375. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the awardees from MSU-OAVCAA Community High School. Abaw Maria Jenicol N with an average of 94.813. Pingol Jeannie S with an average of 94.035. Catalan Christina Jane H with an average of 93.618. And the last but not the least, we have Patano Angel May T with an average grade of 93.347. Those were the high honors in grade 10 of MSU external units. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, we have the students who garnered with high honors in grade 12, starting with MSU Balindang Community High School, Nagib Princess Najiba B, with an average grade of 93.847. From MSU Baloy Community High School, Ambulutu Absari G with an average grade of 96.058. Ambulutu City Aina G with an average of 93.354. Maamor Juhari A with an average of 93.4. From MSU Lopez Haina Community High School, Bulawin Rose P with an average grade of 95.417. Igia Mary Grace SSP with an average of 95,389 in absentia. The award will be received by the school principal, Professor Gladys Balangkar. We have also Lagrada Raiza Micaela Yu, having an average grade of 94.584, and Pasadas Femi Nanz M, with an average grade of 93.972. From MSU Malabang Community High School, Dragicevic Melika L, with an average grade of 93.231.
you.